He hōnore he kororia ki te atua. He maunārono ki te whenua. He whakaaro pai ki nā tāna takatua. Āmine. Mānua mai ea te putana o Matariki. Mānawa mai ea te ariki o te rani. Mānawa mai ea te mātahi o te tau. He kakanoa hau I ruia mai I rani Aotearoa. And I will never be lost. I am a seed born of greatness. Descended from a line of chiefs, he kakanoa. Ki hara ue I teki ana ka mau, tonu ia hau o ku tikanga. Tōku reo tōku oho, tōku reo tōku māpihi maurea. Tōku whakakai marihi. My language is my strength, an ornament of grace. Katsuana hau, ka uhi hau, e oku tipuna. My pride I will show, that you may know who I am. We are warriors, we are survivors. He more hu toto. Ki hara ue I teki ana ka mau, tonu ia hau o ku tikanga. Tōku reo tōku māpihi maurea. Tōku whakakai marihi. My language is my strength, an ornament of grace, an ornament of grace, an ornament of grace, an ornament of grace. Tēnā tātou e te whānau. Thank you for coming here tonight. This is something new and different for me. This is basically the live version of my book, Impossible. Bit of an intimate night. It's really intimate. You fellas are real close. I can see your fellas' eyes looking at me. But it's really cool to be in this space, to be able to share, I guess, more of what my journey has been and my story. And ultimately, it's become a beautiful story, and I'm here because of that. I grew up both in Australia and New Zealand, but there was nothing like being home on my marae, on my whenua. Every time I go down to the valley to Ruatoki, I'm home. Every time I go down to the coast, I'm home. Every time I go back up to Tamapahori, I'm home. Every time I touch down in Aotearoa, my wairua knows it's home. Tōku whenua taurikura. But the best thing about growing up with our whānau, we always had somebody to be with. You know, you always had a best friend. You always had somebody to fall out of a tree. You know, you had somebody to gang up with if you were going to have a fight with the other cousins. You always had somebody. Sometimes I had nobody because everybody would gang up on me. Mind you, I was pretty naughty. And the only people that liked me were the nannies. The nannies always, I think they just found me funny. I used to sit next to my kuia, my great-grandmother, when she used to do the karana. And I have a tea towel on my head and, you know, be trying to copy her. And they didn't, like, get angry at me. Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. They just always had me. I sat with the nannies when they were gossiping about everybody on the marae when they're coming in after doing their fake cries. It takes me back to the good days where the nannies would talk about whakapapa, our karaua kuia, the living history. People these days want to go on Google to find out what they did. They're right there. Don't take that for granted. I'm so glad that I spent so much time with all my karaua kuia, especially our kuia who hold the knowledge for our whānau. That was the best part of my upbringing, was our nannies and my koko, who was my hero. He was the first love of my life, and he's also a hero for so many. I sit here now with korero, and that's only possible because of my grandfather. We have a cancer gene, a CDH1 gene in our whānau, and many whānau around the world have the same gene. For generations, they thought it was a makutu on our family. We were cursed, you know, we did something wrong. Only to find out that it was just genetics. And from that, my koko, he got the cancer, and he basically sacrificed himself so that we could live, so his mokopuna would live. They even did a kawinata e Ratana to ensure, to make sure that he could do this, because it was breaking tikana, it was going against everything, using his body as a guinea pig, as science, giving his body for science so that we could live. Our people didn't understand that back then. But if it wasn't for the sacrifices of my koko, I wouldn't be here today. He didn't even know that his 2 daughters and 4 of his moko were going to get cancer, and we're alive and easily alive because of his sacrifice. Growing up in my household was different to everybody else or the rest of my whānau, my koko. We grew up with a monster. I hated my dad my whole life, my whole childhood, my whole teenagehood, even my young adulthood, because I couldn't forgive him for what he had been doing to me and my brothers and my mum. He put us in hospital, broke our bones, and we have to go to school and lie about it. I used to wish, because we lived at the marae, we were at every tani, so we were always there. And every time we would get a call, I was like, man, I know this sounds sad, but this is how I used to feel. Like, I wish, please be Papa. Please be Papa. Let him be dead. And you find out your nan dies or your auntie dies. Like, why then? Why couldn't it be Papa? Because Papa was the problem in our whānau. He was the pain. He was the inflictor of pain. He was the devil. That's what we knew him to be. You know, we moved to Australia and we moved back. And one thing is, you can't move away and expect the problem to stop. If you're the problem, you're just taking it to a different place. For so many years, my mum and dad did that until one day, my mum went to church and her life changed. That was the day that changed the cycle, stopped the cycle in our family. That day, my mum was the change that eventually my whole whānau and ultimately my dad's life changed. He went from being the ugliest person to now, if you met my dad, he's the most beautiful, weird as, but beautiful, loving, selfless papa. So even though we had this life and we were broken and we were broken whānau and we were broken relationships, man, anything is possible. I believe that. Like, when you're in it, you're like, nothing's possible. I'll tell you now, if I was in a situation, nah, it's over. Life's over. But it ain't over till it's over. And because of the changes my mum made, then my dad, then I was able to see for myself my life, that I had my own life, that I had my own purpose, that my life was greater than just my situation, and that my purpose was greater than what I had been through. I might not have chosen that, but I wouldn't change it. Man, I am a seed born of greatness. That song, He Kākano, I've sung that my whole childhood. That is the anthem of my life, and that's the anthem fully, I feel, for our people. We come from a long line of chiefs. We're incredible. We're amazing. We're not just survivors. We're thriving. We've gone past the point of surviving, whānau. We out there. He kākanoa hau, I ria mai, I rani Aotearoa. I was 18 years old when my life changed dramatically from being hitching, working at a menswear shop, working in factories and just hustling, and I was a thief from way back, to doing Idol. And it was so cool because I actually won the show, and it was Australian Idol, and I felt so good about it because at that time it was a big thing, and I never thought that I would actually win because I was Māori and the way that I talked. So I feel like that was probably one of the most incredible experiences of my life. It changed my life, and it then set me on a path to my purpose. And I'll be forever grateful for that time, forever grateful for that moment. I was actually prepared for that moment long before it even happened. I was at intermediate and I was pretending to audition for Idol, and I'd walk into my lounge room and I would say, "Oh, kia ora, my name's Stan Walker and I'm going to sing Circle of Life." I did it. I was like from 12 years old, 18 years old, I fully did that. I went in and I had one plan and one plan only. I sung it. I thought I killed it. Then they were like, "Have you got something more modern?" I was like, "Are you serious?" Oh, I thought I was on. That's my favorite song in the world, favorite movie in the world. And then, yeah, they showed Ordinary People and I had to figure out that in the last minute. And ever since then, I've been able to do incredible things, go travel the world, sing all over the world, sing with incredible people. So, whānau, I auditioned with Lion King back in Australian Idol, did Circle of Life. Circle of Life and Can You Feel the Love is my favourite songs, my favourite movie of all time. I had the opportunity to go and sing on the real Māori Lion King, and I was like, you don't understand, I was sitting there like wanted to cry, and I was like a little kid, I was like, "Oh, this is the best day of my life." And I remember going into the studio and we were getting ready to record the song, and Rob said to me, he goes, "Oh, you see that line?" And he put a line in there with my baby's name, my unborn baby. He put a line in there, and I thought, I reckon I've fully cracked it in life. If I'm on this and I get to sing about my baby, the movie that I grew up watching and I still watch all the time, that my kids are going to watch that and know that that's their papa and they're part of it. That's the great circle of life. The biggest person I got to sing, well, not with, but open for, was Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? I just call her B or BB. I said, "BB, got a girl," and she's like, "Sup, G." But it was the most incredible experience, not because it just was Beyonce, but because she was here in Aotearoa, and I wanted her to experience our culture, to experience our reo. So we did Don't Dream It's Over in Te Reo Māori, and that was just like my karana to her. I was like, "Girl, can you hear me? Can you hear me in the back?" And I used to actually sing like, "Beyonce, can you hear me?" But yeah, that was one of the most incredible moments and highlights for me, just because I got to do all of that. And now we're still really close with a lot of her team, and they're beautiful people. One thing I have done my whole life is been an actor in life. I was probably the best and worst compulsive liar in NZ in Australia. But I tell you now, I wore many masks. So I felt like I was an actor. I'd been to my own acting school, straight up. I'll teach you a few things. But I remember I got an email. I got an email from Te Arepakahi and Quinton Hita, big top dogs up there. And they asked me to come and do a screen test for Mount Zion. And I was like, "Yeah, I was like, oh, I've never done this before." I was so scared, went over there, did it. Got a shock of my life. I had to pass a pregnant woman. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I was like, freaking out. But the best part, coming to Aotearoa, and a film where it was direct, the whole crew, cast, were all Māori. You got to understand in context to where I was living and how I was being. I was in Australia on radio shows going, hey guys, my name's Stan Walker. I'm so excited, because that's the only way that they would respect me, understand me, and not mock me constantly. And so when I came back here, it was incredible. Like, I was just blown away by the manaki, the kaupapa, just being Māori. That was the standard of who I was going to be, no matter where or what situation, what country, or what table I sat at. Whaia te iti kahurani ki te tūahu koe me he mauna teitei. This next waiata also was one of the biggest pinnacles in my life, because it was the first time that I got to actually record a song in te reo Māori in my own language, and I never thought that was possible. I wrote it with one of my brothers, Vince Hara, and Troy Kingi, so yeah, whānau, this is Aotearoa. Someone get my seat. Nah. Hallelujah, amen. Come on, somebody. Shaka. We're here tonight in Aotearoa. Let's go. Ko auto mauna tūtonu, ko te moana pari mai koe, ko koe te aua I taku remu, ko tawa ano taua, no te hone I kura waka, he taki te whenua. Aotearoa he iwi ka hatatau, he mana tuku iho mai ano, whenua hauna ko wairua ora, whai ato ara ki te mutuna. No tapiti, no tata, no te whenua, te atua tātou, aha koa noia mai koe, ka papai tone mātou moi, he korero to te whenua. Koe mona e oke nei e, he korero e nina, he uri no te roe mata, he toto hona tūpuna, he korero e wei e. Kia hatatou ki tau I paia, whakatina na tau e musiko, whenua haumako, wairua ora, pai atora ki te mutuna. No tapiti, no tata, no te whenua, te atua tātou, aha koa noia mai koe, ka papai tonu mātou mou. No tapiti, no tata, no te whenua, te atua tātou, aha koa noia mai koe, ka papai tonu mātou mou. No matter if you're near or far, we come from the land of God. No matter where you belong, we'll fight for your freedom. No matter if you're near or far, we come from the land of God. No matter where you belong, we'll fight for your freedom. So many things in my life and in my childhood that were out of my control. I understand that now. I understand that through doing this book. But becoming an adult and going into this industry so fresh and so green and so me, It was hard, and it's been hard. I've had more struggles and more battles and been in the hole, in the pit more since having everything. Like, when I first started in Australia, I got told to go to a speech therapist because they couldn't understand my English. I got told, don't be too Maori. Oh, never mind about those ones. Oh, never mind about those. They would say ugly things. They'd just constantly be racist, say that they basically wanted my voice. They didn't want my culture. They didn't want my mind. They didn't want my heart. They didn't want my personality. They didn't want my speaking voice. They just wanted my voice. Everywhere we went, it was all about money. I was a product. But I was a rebellious, and I've always been rebellious, and I still am to this day. And so I've always fought for who I am. And it's come at a cost. It's come at a cost where my career's been on the line, been blackmailed, been told I was going to not get this, and just to say yes. And when I first started, everything was yes, 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 to the point that I just broke down, and I'd never ever had a time where it's been so overwhelming that you just like almost die. You die emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and then it becomes a physical thing. Singing has always been my refuge. It's always been my lifeline. It's always been my safe place. It's always been mine until I come into this industry. Now it's everybody else's. Now my soul and my secret place and my hiding place now becomes everybody else's to say, that's all right. Well, no, that's not good enough. Actually, can you change this? To dictate, to tell me if I'm good enough, if I'm worthy enough, and if this fits the mold or fits what's pop right now. I was then, they didn't realize, but they were speaking to my soul and just saying, oh, your soul's actually not good enough. Like, actually, let's pack that one in. And so these were my experiences. So something that I love, my refuge, my joy, my peace, my surrender in their place. And saying yes to everything and having all the money in the world, going from a pohara broke person to hitching and stuff to having all the money in the world, ever had to look at anything, and to be, in the public eye and on social media, having everything and being at the pinnacle, being the saddest I've ever been and hating it, hating my life, hating myself. I grew up, we didn't know what mental health was. I probably learned the words mental health like properly maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, not too long ago, because I didn't understand that. We never grew up with that. To my knowledge, mental health was somebody in a straitjacket, was out the gate, Some of my whānau, But that's what I thought. I didn't realize that, that you had feelings that you suppressed and you had trauma. I didn't know I thought trauma was like something that was related to a car crash. So we're so uneducated and we're not taught and we're not shown what this is. Love was shown through like a hiding. And so me learning and coming into this industry, coming into this new world, having to learn from my whānau about this and how to dissect things, how to break down stuff, how to look at our trauma and look at our past and be able to heal through it. Like that conversation was weird as, and my family looked at me like, what the hell are you talking about, babe? But we've gone to there and be able to share my testimony. I know that I can help other people. But I had to get to the point of brokenness, at the bottom of the pit. That's where we've been, or that's where I've been, and yet on the highest of the mountains, in terms of what's in front. This song is about me and my best mate, one of my best mates, and this is what inspired this song. E koko na whare e kitea, e koko no nākau, e kore e kitea. The song is called Human. Where do I start? I'm trying not to fall apart. I'm fighting myself. I need some help. Yeah. It's okay not to be okay, 'cause what you're feeling, I can see it. It's a feeling that'll go away. I know it gets hard sometimes, but hold on, don't let go. Life I know can be hard, and it might seem much easier better way. Yeah. You gotta know who you are. You're only human. Don't you forget.
Far, far from grace, wear a mask on your face.
You're only human.
You can call me on the phone, 'cause you're not alone.
Don't be fooled by my smile. Inside it's all in ruins. These walls that stood tall have crumbled to the ground. You gotta know to know where you're going. Sometimes you may fall, get back up that slide on. You got more to give, don't be hard on yourself. Hold on, don't let go. You know life, I know, can be hard, and it might seem much easier in the dark. I won't let you forget who you are, 'cause there's a better way. Yeah. So you gotta know who you are. You're only human. You can fall far from grace. Mask on your face. Yeah.
Call me on the phone.
Call me on the phone. You're only human. Yeah. You can speak what's on your mind. I got the time. Human. You can
Stay on the phone.
stay on the phone. Oh, oh. I'm pretty blessed. I've got some beautiful friends who've become a whole new backbone for me. You know, my whānau has always been my backbone, but, you know, there's the people that you meet in your life and you become kindred spirits, you become whānau, and you choose each other. Well, your whānau, you've got no choice. I'm stuck with mine. Gosh, they're out the gate, but I love them. But it's so awesome meeting people in different states of my life, different seasons of my life, and just connecting with people that see you for you. Not always do your family see you for who you are and who you're about to become, and, you know, because they just know you as their son, their brother. But you're a whole other person. You're so much more than just that. And I've got my mates in here, friends in here who've seen me at the bottom of the pits, where I've just been absolutely nothing. And you know, it's funny because people see me as a stand walker to save the people. And my friends are saving me daily. They've saved me for years. For years when I showed up wasted on their front doorstep, picked me up when I'm wasted, crying, been there while I'm just off my face. I don't even know who I'm talking to, and they're just there. They've had a couch for me, had a feed for me, and just love me, you know. I love my whānau, but they couldn't do that because they didn't know how to do that. But then you meet friends that become your whānau that just sit there and take it. When you're on the verge, I've been on the verge of my life is over many a times. You know, this is the battles I've had to face quietly and silently, and I'm not saying woe me. And every decision that I made to drink or do drugs or get wasted or be out the gate, that was on me. I'm responsible for my own thing, but I didn't know how. I had no teachers and I had nothing to fall back on when I'm giving. Who gives to me? And lucky, I've got beautiful friends and beautiful whānau who've been there to save me, not once, not twice, but more times than I can count, so that I can get back up and serve the people. for my 2 cousins and my brother and sister. I couldn't save them. So if I can save one person's life and we can share our ugly story and be healed through it and make it to the next day and keep getting better, it doesn't just finish and everything's good. Man, life sucks. Life's shit, it's hard. But I'm so thankful to my people, to my friends who have picked me up and loved me when I didn't even know how to love my own self. I know my purpose, regardless of how many times I've switched past, how many times I've fallen off the waka, how many times I've fallen down, man, my purpose still remains. That's one thing I know. I've tried to run away from my purpose and the calling of my life, and because it's hard. But all the sacrifices, I always look back and to see what my karawa kuia, my tupuna did. Man, they fought and died so that we can be outrageous, so that we can be incredible. Growing up, I was always staunch Māori. Then growing up, I was trying to be something else, somebody else. Now I know after all that and hearing the stories and sitting with my nannies, my karawa, man, my greatest asset is not my voice. My greatest weapon, my greatest tool is being Māori. I love it so much. I love being Māori so much. I love being proud. And now we're starting to make legacy and create legacy with our children. And I always want my ceiling to be our baby's floor. I want my ceiling, anything that I ever achieve in my life, that I want my babies to know that that's where they start. I had to get over myself a little while ago because, there's this thing, you see these kids get mean lunches. Son gets the meanest lunch. She gets Vogel Vegemite sandwiches. Kids. But it's you don't know what we had to do back in our day. Tell my sister, you don't know what we had to go through. You don't. And they're like, and you know what I thought about? I was like, actually, they shouldn't know. They don't need to know because we went through it. So they will never, ever have to know that trauma of feeling shame and feeling displaced and feeling like nothing and feeling like you have no purpose. That being Māori is not incredible. Like they don't have to go through that. And so now everything that I do is for the next generation. I'm getting up there old in my head. I'm still young, come on somebody, this was dye the hair blonde. And now we're here, and I get to do songs, I roto I te reo Māori, with my goddaughter, one of my beautiful darlings, and my ceiling is her floor. She goes out to One Love, and she's like, yeah, I've done that. I've she's talking to 660 and Benny, and they're like, oh my gosh, are you excited? Are you nervous? Nah, I've been doing this since I was 2. I was like, that's right. That's right. That's the confidence and the surety and that's amazing. Aki aki te tii o te tanata. Nurture the indescribable light in a person. And I feel like if we can do that, the next generation, they're going to be on. Let's go.
I was raised in a small town kind of place where it is what it is and you don't complain, where people didn't know how to listen if you asked them. It starts to make you think what doesn't matter, 'cause there'll always be minds that you never change. So listen to your wild dreams, the ones that make you crazy. They're telling you the right things. So why you gotta think so small? We can be bigger than this. So listen to that good song. Don't be scared to stay too far from the river. You can be bigger, you can be bigger, bigger. Hey, God, yeah, bigger. He koro koro tsuwiro to pa koro hey, ki amai au e korere. I mohi o au i no atura, tō Oku ora nai nā te hira ira. E ora nā kou kei tuara. Kei tuara. Te kokei, he mana nui tō te aki, hei aha te whakaro i ti. Ti tino ki tawa, yeah, 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 tua. Ti tino ki tawa,
whakarongo ki nā wai o roto e, kei uhi te wehenga i tō awa, tiro ki tua, tiro ki tua, tua.
Albanese mini Māngai, everybody. People kept on asking me, hey, do you want to do a book? I was like, bro, I'm still young. But when I got asked 2017, I was like, you know what? I got a story, you know, like my own story. I've been through my things. And I called up Lou. We weren't together or anything, but I called her up because she's the only one that knows the ins and outs of my life and of my stuff, or, you know, the private stuff. We had a shot at love once upon a time. I stuffed it up. And so having Lou a part of this, it kind of connected us back together, and it wasn't intentional. And I'd missed my best mate. And going through this book, we learnt so much about each other, just being friends. And then, long story short, well, she just wanted me. I was like, well, yeah. We basically came to the realization and we confessed our love to each other. And I was like, what do we do? I don't know what to do. What do we do now? It was a so new thing. And I was like, fine, I'm still broken. Like, I'm still trying to get out of my brokenness. But I was like, oh, I want you now. She's like, same. And I looked at her and I was like, you know what, hun? I was like, far before I even dreamt about being a singer, before at 7 years old, I was standing on the top of our Mauna at Manatawa dreaming that I was going to sing in front of thousands of people. My original dream was to be a father and to be a husband. That was my greatest dream. And I looked at it and I was like, wow, you're my ultimate dream. You're my original dream. And I never thought that I'd get it. I thought I lost it forever. And we come to this point, and even just a few weeks ago, I was like, wow, you know what, hun? Little me would never believe this. Little me thought he was going to die. Little me thought he was just going to be locked up. Little me didn't even know that this life could even exist, because I felt so unworthy. And this is not like, oh, sad story, Stan. This is how I felt. I never felt worthy enough that it's my greatest fear and my greatest dream was to be a dad and to be a husband. Now I get to be the big Stan, and I get to be that with the love of my life, my best friend. I dedicated that book to the future Mrs. Walker, and now she is Mrs. Walker, and we're creating little walkers that are going to ruin my life, and I can't wait. So yeah, kia ora whānau. This song that I'm about to sing is the song that she walked down the aisle to. She chose it, but it talks about our connection. It's a tūhoi word, mate aoni, talking about our connection to our whenua and our whānau. And I just think, man, there's a lyric in there, tōku whenua tauri kura. She's everything. She's my home. She's my true home, my original home. And it took all of that to happen to get to there. Like I said at the beginning, I wouldn't have chosen what I've been through, but I wouldn't change it. Because now I'm married to the love of my life. We've got beautiful kids, and we live a beautiful life. And everybody deserves that. Anyway, kia ora rā. This is Mate Aone.
He waka moke moke, ta hurira ki te rapa, me ko wanoa te utu, ta kahia tō ara, he kupu te ki te mai, kia marama. Tō mama kia manau atahi ai Ua motu te here, te whakawhere, te mati here Kia paurana kupu, te hate tuku, te mate aone I know sometimes we might feel lost, but have you searched and lost and found? And if time is what it costs, are we always spending now? Couldn't find the words to say. Does it hurt when you explain? Is there a shadow in your pain? Oh baby, it hurts us all the same. Did we lose our connection, touch and affection without intention? Or would you say every sentence, use every last breath, find what we came for? Someday we'll find where we belong. Tōku whenua, tōu
I hope you fellas have been encouraged tonight, had a laugh. But just I appreciate everybody being here. It's beautiful. I hope this is, able to help somebody. I'm in no way like cracked life, but I kind of have cracked life, and it's mean. And I'd love for that for everybody, because everybody deserves happiness, eh? Everybody deserves to be full.